Hello and welcome to Theme Park Information. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe for more content. In today's show we'll be doing a review for Thorpe Park, located just outside London in the UK. Now this is a park I've been going to since like the year 2000, so quite a bit of experience going around the park and stuff like that. It's a park I usually generally enjoy. Obviously they've just added a brand new coaster, Hyperia. That will have its own separate review, so look out for that. So the park itself was actually looking really good, really clean, tidy. I know they've been doing lots of stuff in the off season, like with painting and like sort of stuff along those lines. The area obviously around Hyperia was looking really good as well. Obviously, not really nice fresh section right there for the park. Really, giving it some life and such. Obviously, the park does still have some issues. I'd say they do still have, I think, a few rides which need to be removed. So, like where Slammer was, that is still standing. That's a bit disappointing. Obviously, they have a few rides which I'm not a huge fan of, like Storm Surge and stuff like that. That's not great. Also, I will say in sort of issues, the car park is starting to look horribly dated and run down, and since it's the first and last thing you see when you're at the park, it'd be really good if they could redo that. Like, I don't know, for example, how long the little temporary buildings just outside the front entrance have been there, but surely that could be put into some sort of like proper building and completely just redo the front gate so it looks so much better. I'd say the other thing I will say just on like leaving the park is obviously they do have the car parking machines just by the entrance, but it was really frustrating, especially for my friend and myself, where you had to give your email. And I'm like, it makes sense because you could also get your fast pass there for that sort of thing. That makes sense having it on your phone. But when you're literally leaving the park, I don't get why you need an email. Literally, it prints it off. Like, it's like, really? Like, give me the option. Like, it's all it takes. It just seems a bit of an awkward sort of way of doing it. And also, talking of parking, why not just include the price of parking in the cost of the ticket? It just makes it so much easier. It just seems like such a scam when you're literally paying for parking as you're leaving the park or online beforehand. Just include it in the price of the ticket. And as I said, the prices for the tickets were actually really reasonable, just around £30 for the day. Park hours were good, 7 to 10, or 10 to 7, I should say. So yeah, we had like that sort of benefit as well. As I say, the park is home to quite a good selection of roller coasters. You have like the launch coaster of Stealth, which is apparently, quote unquote, apparently the fastest accelerating coaster in the world. There is some debate over that. But statistically or on paper it is, but whether or not it actually launches at speed is another question. Obviously, Thorpe Park does have some other classic coasters in terms of their B&M rides. They have obviously Nemesis Inferno. Sadly, not as good as the original Nemesis, and obviously the Swarm. Actually, the Swarm, by the way, actually had a really short queue, which I think is the first time I've ever had that. And Nemesis Inferno, we were actually able to skip most of the queue as well, through actually a great bit of Thorpe Park sort of like customer service. So me and my friend had queued for the aforementioned Stealth, only for my friend not to be able to ride it, unfortunately. But as a good gesture of goodwill, they gave us the option to use the fast pass for Nemesis Inferno, which was really appreciated. Really, they didn't have to do it; they could have not done it. But the fact they did it, I think, deserves huge praise. And just on that sort of thing, I will just say, do double check just on like the seats outside the rides, just as a thing. I say, obviously, for most of them you'll be fine, but I do know rides like Colossus can be very tight, so do be careful with that one. I say, I think Thorpe Park, in fairness, food-wise, was okay. Queues were pretty. It was a pretty busy day at the park, so there were hour waits for quite a few of their major coasters and such. Obviously, Hyperia was a lot longer, but that's understandable. It's a new coaster. It's obviously the biggest and probably the best of the park, so I do get that. I'd say operations were actually really good. They were dispatching trains really quickly. The lines were moving as well, at a pretty good rate. So I'd say they were generally operationalised, doing a really pretty good job. I also will say, on a slightly downside to the operational standpoint, did see Colossus go down in the morning and then have to be evac, which was a bit interesting. Did give us something to look at in the Hyperia queue line, which was something. But yeah, I'd say, in fairness, they managed to get it up and running eventually. And I also did see that saw the ride tested for quite a while and then seemed to open a bit later, which is a bit of a weird one. So yeah, but again, both rides opened, and operated normally. I'd say Thorpe Park, I also think, from this sort of point of view, maybe just needs to work out on, just getting things open on time, redo their car park, redo some of this, sort of like the sort of background to what you need for like the car parking as well. And it is a park which, and I will probably have a separate video on this as well, I think it's a park which, with the queues and the lines and stuff like that, just needs to continue to invest. I'd say it just seems like it's a bit crowded. But anyway, I'd say Thorpe Park's always worth a visit. If it is your first time ever going there, or you're coming from like overseas or anything, I would massively recommend the fast pass for it, because I say it can easily get like an hour or so queue for all their major coasters. Now, I've been to the park, as I said at the beginning, absolutely loads. Like, I don't need to ride everything. I've been on loads of the stuff multiple times. So, it's all good for myself. I don't mind. I'm in no rush while there. But for, if it's your first visit, go for it. It's the sort of park I really would do a fast pass for. Food options, I'd say there's obviously a few like sort of normal Merlin sort of chain sort of ones. Obviously they work with Burger King and KFC. There are some more independent ones, but it just depends what you're after. Not the greatest park in the world for food. Not terrible, but not the greatest. And I say it's a pretty cool park. I say it's surrounded by water. It was actually looking really good, really picturesque. And I say hopefully in the off season they continue to do those park improvements. I think it's a park which really kind of needs it. I say Thorpe Park, I would probably say it's well worth visiting. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe for more content. And I'll catch you guys on the next one.